Okay, so let's talk about early 2026 because the AI world saw this battle of titans. It was this period of insane competition and groundbreaking tech that pretty much changed everything. But here's the kicker. While we were all watching the fireworks, a huge new security threat was just quietly slipping in the back door. February 2026, it was just an absolute whirlwind. I mean, we saw this incredible acceleration in AI, and it all kicked off with a major showdown. On February 6th, we had what everyone's now calling the Great Model Collision. Get this, both OpenAI and Anthropic dropped their best ever models on the exact same day. And all around this, it was just a flurry of activity. You had new agent tools popping up, and then Anthropic goes and raises this massive $30 billion war chest just to stay in the game.
So, yeah, the main event was this head to head clash between the industry's titans. But what's really interesting, what really matters here, is the technology this whole battle unleashed. See, it wasn't just a marketing war, it was a fundamental leap forward in what was possible.
And we're not just talking about getting slightly better answers from a chatbot, right? This was a huge leap into a totally new paradigm. We went from asking an AI, what's the capital of France, to basically telling it, go build me an entire marketing plan for a new product. And by the way, don't come back until you're done. That's the difference we're talking about. So this new power, this new capability, led straight to the rise of what we call AI agents. And really, what we're talking about is a shift from having a single AI helper to managing entire teams of them. The whole game just changed. It went from conversation to delegation. And new tools like OpenAI's Codex app were right there, leading the charge. So on February 2nd, the Codex app drops. And you got to understand, this thing was designed from the ground up to be a mission control for developers. Its entire purpose is to let you manage multiple AI agents, all working on really complex tasks, all at the same time, in parallel. It's a command center. And this concept, multi-agent orchestration, that's the key. That's the phrase you need to know to understand this new era of AI. Because you're no longer the one doing all the work. You're the manager. You're the supervisor, directing a whole team of digital specialists. And if you look at how this fits in, you'll see it's not about replacing the tools developers already use, right? Things like in-editor assistants or command line agents are still there. What multi-agent orchestration does is add this powerful, new supervisory layer right on top of everything else. And OpenAI themselves said it best. The crucial point here is that the models got so good, the bottleneck actually became us, our ability to manage them effectively. The technology literally outpaced our old ways of interacting with it, and we needed a whole new approach. And if you want to see the incredible power we're talking about, check this out. OpenAI showed off an agent building a complete 3D racing game from just a single prompt. I mean, it designed the game, it wrote all the code, it generated the graphics, it even tested it for bugs, all while using over 7 million tokens in one single autonomous run. Mind-blowing. But there's always a but, right? This explosion in powerful, interconnected AI tools, so many of them being adopted without any official oversight, has created this massive, silent security problem. The very speed of innovation has left us completely vulnerable. And right at the heart of this problem is something called shadow AI. So what is that? It's basically when employees, usually with the best intentions, connect powerful new AI tools to sensitive company data. And nobody in security or IT has a clue that it's even happening. The scale of this is just staggering. Seriously, think about your own workplace. More than half of all the AI being used inside companies today is completely off the books. It's unmanaged, unmonitored, and totally invisible to the IT teams. And this isn't just an AI problem. It's part of a much, much bigger trend. A staggering 85% of all software as a service apps, everything from design tools to project managers, are just flying under the radar of corporate IT. And the consequences? They are very, very real. This isn't some future problem we need to worry about later. Last year, a full 20% of all data breaches were directly tied to these unmanaged AI tools. Let that sink in. 1 in every 5 breaches was caused by this exact issue. Okay, so how does this even happen? How do we get here? Well, it often starts with something that seems completely innocent, an action we all take probably every single day without even thinking about it. You know what I'm talking about. We've all done it 1,000 times. That quick sign in with Google or sign in with Microsoft click just to save a few seconds. But have you ever stopped to think about what we're really handing over when we do that?
This mechanism is called OAuth. And the best way to think about it is like you're giving a stranger a master key to your entire digital life. Your email, your files, literally everything. And what's even crazier? That key often never expires. It just creates this silent, persistent backdoor into your accounts.
And look, this isn't some theoretical threat. In 2024, this exact vulnerability was used in major breaches at big companies like Dropbox and Salesloft. Attackers got their hands on these super powerful OAuth tokens and just walked right in and started stealing sensitive data.
So this brings us to the crucial question, right? How do we embrace all this incredible new technology without just leaving the front door wide open for disaster? How do we actually innovate safely?
Well, the good news is that solutions are starting to pop up. The same tools that are enabling this revolution are also starting to build in safeguards. We're talking about things like sandboxing agents to limit their access to your files, requiring explicit, human consent for sensitive actions, and maybe most importantly, continuously monitoring all these connections to spot risks before they turn into breaches.
And all of this really leaves us with the fundamental tension of our time. On one hand, we have access to tools with more power than ever before. But on the other, that power comes with equally unprecedented risks. And balancing that equation, well, that's the defining task for all of us right now.
Which brings us to the final, big question we all need to start asking ourselves. As these AI agents become our essential coworkers, who is ultimately accountable when they go rogue? Because the answer to that question, it's going to define the future of how we work, how we innovate, and how we stay secure.